Good afternoon once again. So I am Coach Nate and Coach Mick. Right now this is our specialty, so we're gonna teach you how to move through obstacles from the very basic, which is very essential, to the advanced one. So anyway, the advanced technique will be coming from the basic. If you don't know how to do the basic, I'm gonna assure you that you're gonna be injured. That's for sure. That if you learn or you master the basic, it's 100% you can do the advanced techniques.
Okay, so for the starting line, since we don't have a platform here, we have a green line. This is for the lane 1 and the other one is for lane 2. Okay, for our first obstacle, this is the steps. Okay, so for the basic technique, one step at a time. Do it one step at a time. Match foot. So you run towards the steps. Do a match foot, and that's it. Another technique is once you skip, good, and run for the faster technique. So that's it. Okay, for our next obstacle, the second obstacle is the wheel. Once you get to the last step, all you have to do is jump and reach for the wheel and dismount on that red platform there. Start here, you run on the steps, you grab the wheels, and then you swing all the way to that platform, red platform. And that's the dismount. Okay, so the first technique is the frontal swing, and he will do the another technique on the wheels, so which is the sideways technique. Okay, when you jump onto the wheels, all you have to do is lean forward, chest forward, then hips first and foot land on that red platform. Important technique when you're doing the swing is you have to swing your hips forward. You have to swing your hips forward to do the dismount. You swing your hips forward to do the proper dismount. So you do this and this. Okay, proper way to land is you land on your feet and then you have to absorb that jump.
Okay, for the next obstacle, it's gonna be the 1.5 meter wall. The first thing you need to do on the wall is you have to approach like you're sprinting, and then you have to spring yourself up. Yeah. Spring yourself up and go over to the wall and up to the next obstacle. So how to do it? So first, for the very beginners, you have to approach the wall. It's either you sprint or you walk, and then you have to hang yourself like you're doing a squat on a wall, and then you have to climb yourself up and hook your knee on top of the wall. Okay? This is very basic, especially for the advanced, but for the beginner, this is a very essential movement. Okay, the next technique would be like still a beginner technique, but also can be used in advanced level, the kick technique. So you have to kick up and then grab on top of the wall. So you have to put your weight closer on the wall. At the same time, try to kick the open leg on top of the wall. Okay? This might take time for you to perform, or it will cost you a time, but later you will realize you can use this technique on the bigger wall. Okay, the next technique would be the advanced technique, which is like very explosive. You just have to jump over the wall and make yourself down and be safe. Yeah, so one more. Okay, so another thing to get your emphasis or be specific is when you get closer to the wall, you have to kick. If you're doing that technique, you have to kick the wall and your trajectory is going up, not on the wall. So it's gonna be kicking and then jumping on top. Then if you're having hard time with the technique because you're not that explosive, you can practice your NCC with explosive jumping with plyometrics, jumping lunges, squats, actual deadlift, power cleans. You can do that in your strength and conditioning training. That will add up the explosiveness of your body. Okay, well, let's proceed on the next obstacle, which is the under. So these two obstacles here, So the next obstacle is just a continuation of the 1.5 meter wall. It's gonna be under. So actually this is a lot easier obstacle. All you have to do is to pass underneath the obstacle. So that's it. So the important thing to remember here is because it's like two obstacles in one, the smooth transition is the key. So you have to practice it so many times that your muscle memory is already there. You don't have to think or look at it. So from the jumping, you roll or you crouch under. The other one is the roll. So from jumping to rolling. The only thing to take note here is the size. We have different height, so it's different on the landing and the timing on the next obstacle.
Okay, for our next obstacle, this is the rings after the wall and the under. Okay, now for our basic technique, you have to do the matching. Matching is once you reach one ring, you have to reach or follow through with the other hand. Now, as you can see, he's using his hips and he's pulling back to generate swing forward. He's using his hips and pulling back to generate swing. Okay, now for our next technique, this is, we call it like monkey swing. You grab one ring with single arm only. When you swing, you drop this and it's like you're scooping down. You scoop down and then grab the next ring, scoop down and grab the next ring. If you have longer arms, you can skip a ring. This is the third technique for the rings. We call it the lock-off technique. We need to have a strong upper body and a strong lock-off for us to do and complete this task. You can either face left or right. Depends on what side you're comfortable with. Our fourth technique, okay, the ones mentioned in the video is just 3 techniques. Now, for this technique, this is a more advanced technique. So we skip and then we do a dyno.
자, 더 심화된 네 번째 기술입니다.
So for the next obstacle, it's gonna be the balance beam. So for the balance beam, all you have to do, when you start on the platform, you have to raise your hands up, not on side, but slightly up. This will eliminate this factor. So you have to raise your hands up. So if you're having hard time with the balance, you can do it like open legs. Open legs, Mick. The only goal for the balance beam is from point A, which is right here, and point B. You can actually jump on the beam, but you have to touch on the last part of the beam. So the key factor of the balance beam is the speed. If you take time on the balance beam, it's more likely you will fall. But if you do it faster, it's more likely you're gonna finish it properly. So for our elite guys, they can do like 2 steps, 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Yeah, like that. Yeah, okay. All right, so for the next obstacle, so it's also like a brother of the big wheel, but this one is a multi-wheel. Okay, so the technique for the rings and the monkey bar later is gonna be all the same. So you're gonna start the very basic, which is the matching. One on the next ring, and then one on the next ring, and then hands together, and then one on the next ring. It is important also to practice on both sides or both angles, because we don't know what will happen on the race, that you might get or you might pull your shoulder, then you can't reach on your right, then your left is still ready to bring on the obstacles. So same technique, you are swinging your hips and then kicking your legs forward. That will bring a lot of momentum and it will make the obstacle easier. Okay, so you can also jump on the next obstacle. So that's how you jump on the next obstacle. So just think about it as like doing on the rings. It's the same thing, but this one has more advantage because it is fixed. It's not swinging all around. So this one is fixed. It's easier.
Okay, now for our 7th obstacle, this is the monkey bars. Okay, now for the monkey bars, from this platform, you jump off and reach the first bar. This is the basic technique, the matching technique. Okay, for the matching technique, you grab the bar, and then both hands should be on it before you grab the next bar. Okay, so for the next technique, this is the monkey swing or the skipping. One arm at a time, one bar at a time. As you can see, he was hanging on his single arm on one bar. It's like same technique as the rings. Before you try to grab the next bar, swing your hips, you scoop it down before you grab the next bar. Scoop down, grab the bar, scoop down, swing your hips, and pull back so you can generate swing. Now, the next technique is the lock-off technique. He was trying to grab the next bar under it, not trying to reach over it.
Other advanced technique will just based on your technique. If you wanna jump on the next one, you should have a good upper body strength and good shoulder mobility. So if you like jumping on the next bar, be sure you're ready. Okay. Yeah, so same always. When you do obstacle, you warm up your shoulder. If your shoulder is ready, you can really extend or skip on the next bar if you already have the ability to reach for the next one. Just the secret is the momentum, the swing. With good swing, like this. Swing. So, swing. So the key is your grip. Okay?
Finger strength is the key.
So as I said earlier during the discussion, that the important factor in the obstacle is not really the upper arm, but the grip. So if you're failing your upper body, the last thing you can hold on the bar is on the tip of your fingers.
Okay, so this is the more advanced technique. Same as the wheels. It's like a dyno technique.
But it's slow. So some of the technique is like very cool in the Instagram, but in the actual race, it's not gonna be good for you. It will just be dangerous and it will take time. Okay, so it's better to set on the technique which is very stable, but you can go through the obstacle easily. So this is the ultimate obstacle. So if you lack on the technique on the smaller wall, it's gonna be impossible for you to climb on top of this wall. And then if you're like afraid of heights, so you need to overcome it as we go through the obstacle. It's gonna be like a problem when you're training on this obstacle. All right, so to overcome the fear and what will happen when you're on top of the wall, you have to practice how to fail first or how to bail out when you're not able to reach on top, because it might too late you decide to jump and when you're floating on the air already. Coach Mick will just demonstrate how to fail somewhere in the middle. Yeah. So you don't turn back. Yeah, if you saw me earlier, I was turning back. It's because I was just doing my warm-up. But in the real world, it should be face down. As you go higher, to go to the higher steps to fail, you have to increase the level of failure. So if you started like very low, yeah, you have to overcome it by increasing the height. That's how you overcome. Yeah. If you're afraid of doing that because you might get your back on the ground, you can do the chest. Chest. Yeah. It's just like playing. So.
It's the safest way to bail out.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it a little bit higher. So all the way on the top, so you can see what will happen to me if I fail and I don't have the strength to climb on my legs. Very safe, but you'll get dirty. Okay. So you have to practice it a lot of times. It's muscle memory. So same with the laser pistol, You have to do it regularly. Obstacle is just the same. It's muscle memory. When you run, you don't think, you just jump and grab.
Okay, then for this wall, you have to run or sprint towards the wall. And then grab that edge, that ledge. And then you pull yourself up, hook that feet up, and then you stand up and tap that bell. Okay, once you grab the ledge, same technique as the wall. Hips closer to the wall, and then you put your feet up. Okay, hips closer. Okay, hips closer to the wall, put your feet up, and then pull yourself up to the ledge. Okay, now this is for the advanced technique. You run, you sprint, and then do a muscle up. Okay, the secret for that technique is you need to run fast.
As you get closer to the obstacle, you have to gain speed. So the closer it gets, the faster you will run. Okay, so I think that would be all. Thank you.